Good morning, I'm Kevin, and I just wanted to follow up with the previous request that I made to the congregation to give us some ideas of ways that Adairsville First United Methodist Church can have a greater impact on the Adairsville community by increasing the ministries that we offer, and really looking for ways that we can more so be a part of the community and have a greater impact on the people of the community, because that is what God calls us to do as a congregation of people who are following Him. And I'm here in our gutted sanctuary that is being worked on. It's being renovated. I'm getting it behind me. I hope it doesn't make you dizzy and throw up, but just showing you what it looks like in here. And obviously it is empty except for the work tools. It's being worked on, and it's going to be painted. It's going to look nice. You know, the carpet's going to be great. The pews are going to be refurbished, and this whole list of things that are going to make the appearance look fantastic. And there's a lot of work that's going into making the appearance of this sanctuary look great. But what I'm asking is for the real work to be done to make the substance of the sanctuary even greater. I'm asking that we look at ourselves and figure out what we can do to look even better to the community. To have an impact and to be attractive, to be irresistible to the community of Adairsville, Georgia. That's going to be work. It's going to be work. There's work being done here in the sanctuary to make it look better and to make it more appealing, but I'm asking that we do the work to make the substance of this sanctuary more appealing, and that, of course, is the people. A while back, probably, over 10 years ago now, I had the opportunity to go to Houston, Texas on a ministry immersion trip, and it was with a bunch of seminary students, and we went on an organized trip to visit all of the various ministries and churches that are going on in Houston. And if you don't know, Houston is the Mecca of Christianity. Everything's bigger in Texas, yes, and that applies to the population of Christians as well. And there were some absolutely dynamic ministries going on in that community, and we were hosted by a church that is called Chapelwood United Methodist Church, and it is located in a very affluent part of Houston. Some of the Houston Astros players live in the community around the church, in the neighborhood surrounding the church, so it's nice. And the senior pastor there and some of the staff, they were very, very, very gracious in hosting us and organizing the whole trip, just about every step of the way of what we were doing. And one Saturday night, we were part of a street ministry. And it was very small, just a few folks. But we went around in a particular part of Houston that had a high prostitution rate. And what this ministry did or does is simply offer water and snacks to the prostitutes. And really there was nothing else to it. I mean, if those folks asked why they're doing it, of course, then they would go into why they're doing it. And the answer was always, for the love of you, the love of people, and of course, responding to the love of God. And we were walking around and doing our thing, and we came upon a guy. He was not a prostitute, but he was destitute. And we started talking with him, and come to find out, that night he had just been kicked out of his house. That was his first night of being homeless due to his addiction to drugs. He had lost his family and, of course, lost his job. And I cannot begin to imagine the situation that guy was in. One of the people that we were with asked him if he had ever heard of Chapelwood United Methodist Church. Again, this guy was the opposite of the person who would live in the community that Chapelwood is in. And, the person was asking about if he knew about the church and whatnot. And he said, "Oh yeah, that's the place where Mercy Street is." And I was absolutely blown away that this guy, his first response whenever he heard of the name Chapelwood UMC would be Mercy Street. Now, here's what Mercy Street is. It's a ministry for folks with addictions. And it is still going today. Whenever we were there, it was just before they celebrated 500 people in attendance. They met at Chapelwood UMC. And the crux of that service is transparency, is kingdom focused. It's, bring you and your junk to the worship service and let's all worship God together. It's a judgment-free zone. They don't judge, they just love. And they're effective, obviously, because here you have a person who is exactly who this ministry exists for, and he is in the most destitute time in his life, and he had heard of a ministry that serves people, the least, the last, the lost, that serves the people who everyone else forgets about, who everyone else, if folks in that situation would come to their front door, they would probably turn them away or maybe just give them a little bit of food or whatever and, blessings on you, have a good life. But this church and this ministry was so effective that the guy who is in the perfect place where he needs to know that ministry knew it. That blew me away. That absolutely blew me away. Can Adairsville First United Methodist Church be like that? I'm not saying we have to appeal to addicts. I am going to say that drug addiction is a huge issue in Bartow County and everywhere. Am I saying that we have to appeal to the poor? No, but I am going to say that we are a rural county and all the schools are Title I. Do we have to appeal to people that others are not attracting? Yes. Yes, we do. Because our goal as a church is to welcome everyone. Our goal as a church is to fill this sanctuary. And by church, I mean congregation, I mean people. Our goal is to fill this sanctuary and create a new essence because the walls, they're going to be pretty. The floor is going to be nice, and the pews are going to look great. But is that all we want to be as a church? A place with a nice building? This is where you get to decide. This is where you get to play a part in the future of Adairsville First United Methodist Church. You have already played a huge role in the history. Now let's look to the future. Let's look to the future of this place and make it the church that God intended it to be. Let's define this place as too small because we can't fit all of the people who are coming in here. Why are they coming in here? Not just for numbers' sake. No, never. It is never just about numbers. It is always about changed lives. What if, when we get back together, we have a plan to make these walls, the beauty of these walls, pale in comparison to the beauty of the ministry of this church? When we get back together after the COVID separation, we have no chance of being the same as we were. Hear me out. We are only going to be better or worse. There's no par. There's no even kill there. When we get back together, we're only going to be better or worse. I think the way to be better is to have a plan to be a better ministry to this community, to be a beacon of hope, to be a source of hope and of the light and the love and the forgiveness and the grace and the compassion and the passion of Christ. Won't you take this challenge and do it with me? Thanks.